Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am very excited to be here. We're back with another webinar. So I am going to first, if you've been a part of any of the webinars that we hosted in October or November of last year, Colton and I will be familiar faces. You will also have heard a couple of the things I'm going to talk about, so just bear with me. I'll fly through them. But the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is our Peak Performance Industry Benchmarks report that is going to be launching at IRE next month. So this here I have in my hands is the 2024 preview copy. This is so packed full. Well, this is the preview. I think it's 37 pages of like 140 in the total report. It's basically the roofing industry benchmarks for success. It's statistically relevant data that we're going to have. We're going to have homeowner information, we're going to have contractor information, and you're going to be able to see where you stack up. So if you want to get early access to this, scan that QR code. Additionally, at the bottom, you'll see there's the chat, there's the questions, there's the polls, there's the people, there's the links. Click on the links there as well if we move on from this slide, and you can click and get early access that way as well. Additionally, we have some polls running. We're gonna, if you're like me and you just like to kind of be multitasking while you're listening and you want to like fill out some of these, feel free. We'd so appreciate your input. So much of what we do at JobNimbus is thanks to you, thanks to your feedback, thanks to the things that you need. We're trying to solve your problems. So your input is so crucial for us. For our agenda today, this is what we're going to be getting up to. I'm going to introduce the lovely people who are joining me today. We have a few more faces than normal. I'm going to talk about the outcomes that we want you to take away from this. We realize you're giving up some of your very valuable time, and so we want to make sure that you can take something away that is very useful for you. We're going to get into the 2024 features that we've been talking about and those updates so that no matter when you became a JobNimbus customer, no matter what emails you opened or what notifications you saw, you get kind of the overview of what these features are. And then we're going to talk about next steps and then looking ahead. We've got some fun things ahead. Colton, do you want to introduce yourself? I feel like
Sure.
this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. My name is Colton. I run the AM Genius team, as we call it here. So we work with like small, medium logos or very small. So we work with, a lot of you in the chat here. If you don't have an account manager, you can still talk to me or my team. That's my role at JobNimbus. Been in the industry for a few years now. And if you ever want to chat anything JobNimbus or best practices kind of in the industry, then happy to chat.
Thank you, Golden. My name's Sancha. My first job out of high school actually was at a roofing company, which is why being a JobNimbus feels a bit full circle and very special. I worked, there was a hailstorm. I live in Calgary here in Canada where we get some pretty devastating hailstorms. And there was one, and I remember the date of loss so well because we did a lot of insurance work. And I think the night I started and that day I entered 75 insurance claims into our database, which was not JobNimbus. It was very ancient, archaic. And I wish I had something like JobNimbus. I worked then all the way through kind of learning all the different processes. I did some inspections. I never actually roofed a roof. So but I was a production manager. And so a lot of the things that you deal with, I have experienced. And this is why I get excited to work in this space. And then I've been in marketing for the last many years. This is Jordan. I'm really excited to have him on board today. He is our director of payments. He comes with a wealth of experience, and he is the guy who is working to make our payments experience for you the best that it can be. And he knows what he's talking about. So he'll be sharing a little bit more later. We have Tyler, who is a product manager here. He is very cool. And we should just have a webinar for Tyler and you would get to know him and be like, this guy knows so many things about so many things. And him and Colton and myself actually come from Sumo Quote and are now at JobNimbus. And so he is going to be talking a little bit later about our sales experience. And then Court will be joining us later as well. Again, a wealth of knowledge. I just feel so lucky to work with these people. I learn new things every single day. Obviously, he is incredibly we've built a computer at 7 years old. Like, what the heck? But the pizza part is my favorite in all of this. So he'll be sharing a little bit more later about a few things as well as looking ahead. So thank you all for being here. We're going to dive into the goodness here because we are going to, yeah, I'll get into your outcomes. From an outcome standpoint, this is what we want you to lead with. We want you to be able to look at whether you are a current JobNimbus customer or someone who is considering looking for a solution, or perhaps you're from Sumo Quote and you're like, oh, is it worth the move over? We want you to be informed. So, and it often happens that we might announce something, but perhaps you were in the depths of your busy season and you were like, I'm not even thinking about leveling up my software right now. And so you missed some of our updates. And so this is us. We'd like to make sure that you have a full understanding of what is available to you in JobNimbus, and then how can you use those really well in this upcoming year, and kind of getting optimized in those next steps. We want this to be very, very practical. This is not a demo. We are not going to be like pulling anything up, walking you through it. It's going to be pretty high level, but we just want you to have a good understanding. So before we get started, if you are, and Colton, I don't know if you saw there in the chat, we had someone asking about just a registration link. Would you mind just sharing that registration link in the chat?
Oh yeah,
If
my bad.
anyone needs to pass it along to anyone, that's no problem at all. So we've talked about this a number of times on webinars in the past. Your business journey is happening at the very same time as your homeowner journey. And we want you to be able to optimize features that improve both your business journey and your homeowner's journey. And so what we're going to be doing as we break down some of these features that we launched, we're going to talk about some of the general value for your business, but also for the homeowner experience, because here at JobNimbus, we get to create a platform that you get to use to help run your business, but you're in the B2C space. And so we are really trying to set you up for success. You are the experts. You are the ones on the roofs, shingling and inspecting and navigating crews. And so for us, we want to learn as much as we can from you as well to be able to do this. Okay, so 2024 was a big year. We had boards card quick actions, the new sales experience, job deposits, new material order builder, supplier integrations, web-based invoices and builder updates, profit tracker, see profit tracker, whoever that was, insights on click, mobile app home screen redesign, mobile app hero images, and more. These are the ones we're going to talk about, and then we will get into a little bit of what to expect in the future. So the format for this, I'm basically going to sit back for a minute and let these guys do what they do best and give you a couple minutes of explanation for each of these things. Again, questions, throw them in the Q&A or put them in the chat. And this really is so helpful for us. Oh, also the polls as well. Fill those out. We'd love to know if what of these you're using. There's a few questions in there, so dive in. Colton, do you want to take it away and kick us off?
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty quick, simple feature that was added. You can see on the left there, just a little ability to kind of reroute your little cards to where they need to belong. So we got some feedback that basically we were drag and dropping and we'd accidentally drop into the wrong status. And because lots of accounts are really well built out with automations or emails going out or anything like that, you're accidentally sending things and then moving it again. So this is a way for you to just move it, mouse over, move, and then you can move it like 8 statuses at a time if you want. So yeah, a little bit faster access to move. You don't no more scrolling to the side if you don't want to. Just kind of helps streamline moving things around the boards.
And again, with all of these, if you are not utilizing a feature later on, we've mapped out a little bit of a kind of where you stand and where to go from here. Is that only on the iPad? No, this is just an example of kind of showing what it would look like on a screen. All righty. Tyler, welcome.
Sandra. Thank you. Happy Tuesday, everyone. As Sancha mentioned, I was part of the sumo quote world. And then when the two families were stitched together early this year or early last year, wow, time flies. I was also looking after the new sales experience in JobNimbus. And so that was just an incredibly exciting update for both sumo quote and JobNimbus last year, putting the power of sumo quote into the immensely powerful JobNimbus tool and really helping to support the estimating experience. So what we see this doing for our business owners and contractors like yourselves is, this really impacts close rates, really speeding up the quoting process, helping to get that high value, highly professional estimate out to homeowners as quick as possible, really being communicative and just having a lot of the details and structure of how the roofing job or painting job or fencing job, what that's going to look like for the homeowner. We find that the earlier you get that communication out, you really set yourself up for success to just have a great interaction with homeowners and tee up that 5-star review. How this impacts homeowners, you really have that professional and streamlined buying experience when you're looking to do something for your home. Being able to kind of see that level of trust stitched all the way throughout. We actually later on in the year made some updates to our signing experience with that in mind. It seems like every day in the news we're hearing about scams or emails being sent out for people phishing. So just really finding a way to stitch all that together so that when a homeowner receives an email from you with an estimate or an invoice or whatever that interaction is, there's just these threads of truth and trust all the way throughout it so that they can feel comfortable buying from your business. And then purely from the estimating side of things, just being able to have pricing options, being able to see really transparent pricing, seeing the value of why, maybe we're encouraging them to go with a higher quality shingle, and just really helping them know what to expect throughout that whole buying process. Yeah, this was just a hugely exciting initiative to be a part of and just really excited for the value this is going to bring for you guys. I'll pass this over to
Yes.
you, Sancha. Thank you.
Jordan, we're going to get into the money stuff for a minute with Jordan.
Yeah, and one of my favorite pieces of the new sales experience, and I may be a little biased here, is the jobs deposits piece of it. So not only is it speeding up your time to quote and being able to win those jobs, but it's really allowing you to collect that initial payment from your customers, getting that money faster, getting skin in the game so that you're able to win those jobs, get them on your schedule, and just really get everything taken care of there. It also saves you a drive across town, right? So your sales rep may go out, give them the quote, or come back and then email that off to them. They have the ability to sign it, make that deposit payment. You guys get notified of all of that, and you can just go and get them on their schedule. So it makes it just a really, really seamless experience for you guys. Moving into just kind of JobNimbus payments in general, there we have a bunch of functionality. It's not just on your estimates that you can collect money from your invoicing. There's a payment link on there. We have our next day funding. So if you go and collect an ACH payment today, you'll have that money drop into your account tomorrow. We have financing options that aren't necessarily payments, but I kind of work along with those as well. We released our new reconciliation dashboard. I want to say in Q4, late Q3-ish, for the payment side, that's making your reconciliation a ton easier. So all of these features coming into play are helping you guys save time, save gas, save wear and tear on your trucks, saving your crews time so that they can go out and be doing more jobs or winning more jobs. And the money collection side of it is that much easier. On your customer side, it's giving them options on how to pay. They have cash, they have physical check, but if I can pay with my credit card or my debit card or my bank account using ACH, like what one's the most convenient for me as your customer? It doesn't require, your guy driving out there past your close time or, trying to meet them and then they're at the grocery store or anything like that, right? So there's a lot less back and forth trying to make that connection in order to collect your payment. So payments overall is just really helping speed it up, get cash flow for you guys, make it more convenient for you and your homeowner. And I have a full team that is dedicated to answering questions, helping you guys out. So there'll be more on that a little bit later.
Thank you, Jordan. There's so much on payments. And again, as I said, we will get to some next steps of like, if you're like, ooh, I want to know more about this thing, we're going to point you in all the directions that you need to go.
Mhm.
Next up, we have got our new material order builder. Colton, you're up.
Yeah. So new material order builder works better with the new sales experience is the short version. So you can transfer your estimates right into here. Makes less dual entry, makes the whole process a little bit faster. It also helps with suppliers, which we're going to talk about in a second here, but just a little bit more visual, a little more user friendly as well. But most importantly, it works better with your estimating and saves you time kind of in the journey. And then hopefully your jobs stay on time and your quantities are correct and all your material ordering dreams come true.
On that note, as a production manager in the past, yeah, that like heartbreak when you're like, no, I need to organize another delivery for like a chimney cap. And you're like, that's it. You're like, then you have to call the homeowner and it's just so painful. So we're trying to help ease some of that.
Okay, so for supplier integration, this also works with the new material ordering. The value here is you can pull your supplier pricing directly into your estimating and then also into your production side as well. So it's all in one platform. You can get quantities, you can pick colors, things like that. So it's just a lot easier to go from estimating to sending an order. And if you have your supplier integrated, then you're always quoting right, you're always ordering right. So it is a pretty big step up if you do use one of the major suppliers. ABC's coming. There's a beta still coming, but Beacon and SRS are they're pretty good. Like they work pretty well. Happy to help people set those up. Something we're focusing on kind of for the quarter. So
Yes, we will get into some of the ways that you can make sure that you have the training that you need. Okay, Court. Those of you who are like finances, profit, invoicing, this is your guy. And he is curious and he wants to know what's working and what's not. So he is going to be a great person to have on here. Go for it, Court. All yours.
Awesome. Thanks. So happy to be here, everybody. It is great to talk a bit about what we're doing around invoices and profitability. I want to talk a bit about what we've done in the last couple quarters here. So for those of you that know, we've actually built this really cool professional looking homeowner facing invoice view. So what's really awesome about this is what this unlocked is the ability to text invoice requests to your customers automatically with automations. And so you can set up some really cool automations around when invoices are ready. You can set due dates for them and then automatically text those requests to your customers. And then regardless of where they're at, whether they're checking their email, whether they're on their phone, they're going to get a really responsive, professional looking view to be able to quickly pay that invoice. We've also heard a lot of feedback on just the general speed inside of JobNimbus. And so we're hard at work to overhaul a lot of our experiences to make things move really fast and snappy. And so as a part of that, we've completely rebuilt our invoice builder. And it has all the same functionality that you've come to know and love from our past invoice experience, but now it's much cleaner looking, it's more modern, it's also way faster. And so you'll see less bugs and it'll load faster. You'll be able to create those invoices faster, drag and drop items, whatever you need to do within the invoice experience. And we recognize how important it is to get paid. And I want to call out, I think I mentioned this in the chat. I know I see a bunch of questions around invoices and payments. We have on our roadmap some additional functionality coming to invoices later this year, and I hope to be able to share more soon, but we're not done yet with invoices.
Okay. And what we've been wanting to get to.
All right, profit tracker. So managing job costs is such a complicated part of the business. There's accounting software, there's spreadsheets, you have text messages, you have purchase orders, sales orders, you have people going to Home Depot and receipts from there, and being able to sort all of that out and understand whether your business is making money is just, it can be really complicated and just take a lot of extra work. And so our vision for Profit Tracker is to get rid of all of that pain. And you have one centralized spot that everyone that uses JobNimbus with the right access can see and understand the profitability of jobs, how much things are costing, where those costs are coming from, how much I'm expecting to get paid in commissions in a beautiful, simple view. What I really love about Profit Tracker is that you can actually integrate with inside of JobNimbus with our work orders and material orders, so you don't have to dual entry anymore. So as you order materials from our integrated suppliers, those will automatically go into the profit tracker as costs. So you can see without having to go back in and enter those in what your costs are. And same with the work orders. As you schedule your subcontractor labor and create work orders for those, you can automatically send those right into the profit tracker to track those costs too. As you make purchases at Home Depot, you're going to be able to add those ad hoc job costs right into the profit tracker. So it's a single centralized spot for all the costs on the job, and you can see your profitability at the end of the job. And this is so important, and we hope that it keeps you from having to manage separate spreadsheets to understand what your costs are. And over time, you'll be able to see reporting that sums everything up. And so you could look at by salesperson, by lead source, like where you're getting the most profitable jobs, and how you can, and then it'll encourage you to get more of those jobs, and you can optimize your business based on the data that you're getting inside a profit tracker.
At the end of the day, we get so excited about the idea that you could have processes that not only can, tee you up for that 5-star review, which then you can have on Google and it helps generate more leads, but that you could make money and be able perhaps to get to a place where you can hire or outsource some of these things because they're scalable. You can standardize the process, and maybe take a vacation in July. That would be amazing. So this is why we care about this. And Court is just like such a powerhouse behind all of these efforts. Okay, Colton, back to you anyways.
So Insights on Click, super quick little update, just basically a better way for you to understand your data. So looking at Insights, navigating there, you have all these reports. So now you can see there, you can click on them and it'll say drill into data. What that does, it just pulls up the raw data that makes up those reports. So if you're estimating and you have like a 30% conversion rate, it'll show all the estimates that are counting towards that 30% and all the ones that are detracting from that 30%. So yeah, it's basically just a way for you to look and see, okay, well, this estimate didn't show up. Why is that? You can go drill in, and then you can be like, well, where is it? And then you can go look at the job and you can troubleshoot your own insights a little bit more effectively. So yeah, just helps you use insights and helps you make decisions, and actually helps you use the software as well. And then for the mobile app home screen redesign, basically just moves things around the app, makes it a little more user friendly, gives you quicker access to the most used features and the most used reasons people have the mobile app. So just a quick little redesign that makes things a little bit easier when you're in the field. Same thing here. So mobile app here images is redesigned so that we can work a little bit more easily in the field in the mobile app, making sure you have all the information you need at your fingertips. So makes things easier for your group.
I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone. This happened to one of my crews one time, and it never happened again because I could never let it happen again. But this idea of having people have like a visual identity of the house, just making sure, because sometimes materials are delivered to the wrong place. And God forbid someone rips off the wrong roof and then you have to replace a roof. So obviously there's more to that, but we'd like to help prevent that if in the very off chance that it happens. Okay, so now we're going to get into the next steps. And again, there's so much we covered there. Like each of these warrants its own workshop, which is kind of what we'll get into. These are largely kind of like high level, but Colton's team gets into the nitty gritty of the functionality to help you get really set up. So this is going to be a little bit more focused on if you are a JobNimbus customer. I know there's a few on here that may not be. And regardless, if you're using a different solution or trying to build out your business, like we're here for your success. So perhaps some of this could be helpful too. And then after this, we'll get into looking ahead and give you some idea of what's to come, of what we can tell you. So firstly, I want you to look at this and just be like, okay, we've got this list. I can see in the chat that there's a lot of people that are actually using a lot of these things, but I would love for you, again, we'll send a recording, but even just to look at this and be like, kind of mentally ticking off these boxes of like, what are you utilizing of this platform? And what could you be using more of, or potentially you haven't been using at all? So, okay, if you are a JobNimbus customer, my first thing for you is going to be like to ask if you've completed your onboarding. If you have, wonderful. There are more resources for you, and that would be Colton's team and the Genius team. They have workshops and they have one-on-one training. Once I'm done going through this, I'm actually going to leave in the chat the next 6 trainings that are coming up and the links for you to register if you'd like. If you have not completed your onboarding yet, or you attended one and you weren't able to attend the rest, if that's you, you should have had a number of emails from them saying like, hey, can you reschedule? Either find those and go back to the link, or say, hello, here, I need my onboarding. I need to finish my onboarding. You can raise your hand and we can make sure that we point you to them. They just go over a lot of the basics of like what you need to do to get set up, so that then Colton's team can get into kind of some of that more granular stuff with you. Okay, are you using the new sales experience? If not, let's get you set up. Whether if you are currently in the onboarding stage, like finish your onboarding. But if you've passed that and you're like, I've been onboarded and I'm moving on, then this is where let's get you help. And then, are you approved currently for JobNimbus payments? If you're not, and you want to utilize these functions through JobNimbus payments, we want to make sure that we can get you approved so that you can start using these functions. And if you have been approved and you haven't processed a transaction, we have an amazing team ready to onboard you and help you figure out how to process that next transaction. Okay, and then in addition to this, so Colton's team is training. We also have pro services, and they are. This team is so powerful, and this is if this is your need. If you're like, I do not want to figure this out myself, I need complete setup. I just want someone to come in, and I like I did this for my running coach right now. I was like, please just give me my plan. I don't want to make decisions. I don't want to have to figure it out. I want it to be fast. This team is awesome. If you are at a place where you're like, yes, I can't do it on my own, not because you're not intelligent and amazing, but you're running a business and you just need someone to come in and support and do your setup with and for you, this would be a great option. So this is what I can tell you. There will be some announcements coming, but we're going to be updating the job details page, and there will be a QuickBooks cost sync. Court will be speaking to those in a minute. And this is verbatim what I have been told I can say. We're working on a tailored mobile app experience for your cruise. That's all I could say. That's it. And if I say more, I'll probably get in trouble. So get excited. And this is not all we're working on. This is just all I can say right now. So Court, I will just get you to kind of high level chat about a couple of those things, and then we will get into our Q&A. First dibs, Douglas. Okay, noted. Whoever.
Yeah, we know the crew app is a really, really hot one. We're really pumped about that. There's some cool things coming there. Let me talk a little bit about the job details page. So again, this goes back to, we've heard and we understand that there's parts of JobNimbus that feel old and that we want to make easier to use, but also faster and more modern. And we're doing this right now with our jobs experience. And so you can see here a design of what the jobs experience will look like in the future. We've added this beautiful black navigation bar that makes it more easy to find what you're looking for. We're calling it the Jobs Quick View, where you can get a quick information at a glance on the job, things like the photo, the address, contact information, status, and then also be able to action quickly from that quick view. So adding a note, sending an email, creating estimates, like these are all things you're able to quickly do where no matter where you are on the job, you can do from your quick view page. We're really excited about this. We're starting testing. We've actually started some testing already. Sorry. And
that was me.
We'll be expanding it over the next few weeks and months. Another one that I am very, very excited about, and pretty much every time I talk to a customer that uses QuickBooks, this is something that's been asked for: the ability to send costs into JobNimbus. So as part of our profit tracker work, you're going to be able to create bills inside of QuickBooks, and they will automatically show up inside of JobNimbus. This is an incredibly powerful tool because as I've heard and as you all know, like this data is so important. And right now, getting access to cost data, you have to have access to QuickBooks, and it's just not something that's feasible to do. And so being able to get this cost data inside of JobNimbus, so keep personnel in your organization can have access to it, is so important. And also, you don't have to dual entry it. It'll automatically come in as you pay bills or as you create bills inside of JobNimbus for your suppliers, for your subcontractors, for any costs you might have. You can see those associated with the profit tracker and generate awesome reporting on your profitability and job costs inside of JobNimbus.
So much of what we do comes from what we learn from you. And so the more that we know, and this is where the peak performance report is so cool for us to be able to, kind of even put together industry understanding and insights, but you are so valuable to us. This idea of your business journey happening the same time as the homeowner and the buyer experience, we're looking to help with both. And so this is why we do what we do. If you are currently not a JobNimbus customer and you are curious about becoming a JobNimbus customer or any of those features and how they might make sense for your business, there's a QR code here. There's also a link down the links tab. Yeah, we love to chat and show you what it's about. And this is the thing too. We are just similar to you. We are trying to build things ourselves in the hopes that we can benefit you. So training workshops was something that was kind of a test of concept, and you guys attended, and so kind of proved the concept. Same thing as these webinars. We test it out. We make sure that it's a good fit. We don't want to force you to come. We want to make sure it adds value. But again, we had a really great turnout last year, and you're like, let's keep doing it. I also just like this social piece too. Thank you all so much for joining us for this. We'll have many more to come. We really appreciate you. We get excited to hang out with you, and let us know your feedback. Yeah, we're super grateful, and we wish you all the best in 2025. Thanks, guys.